A lot of people out there don't understand, the different rules in the Bible it speaks about. So there's like a lot of different rules that God tells us in the Bible, and most people don't understand those rules. So they're like, well, if I do this, then how is it hurting me? It's not hurting me to do this certain thing or act this certain way. It's not negatively affecting me from my perspective. So, why does he tell us not to do it? And an interesting story I have, a personal story that may sound silly, but it's really a good example. Okay, so at the edge of my driveway, there's a huge mud puddle. And in this mud puddle, there was a lot of like tadpoles. Like a frog must have nested there and, hatched out a lot of tadpoles. So it being summertime, sun's pretty freaking hot. So, the puddles started to slowly dry up, so I thought, well, I don't want to leave them to die out there. So, I started trying to, find ways to, scoop them out of there, and they resisted. They ran away, and a lot of them even, I hate to say, died in the process. I was trying to scoop them out with a spoon, and then they would, because the mud was so soupy, that some of them would get, they would, swim right up into a mud crevice and then get buried, and I couldn't get them out. Or they'd fall and hit the ground, and I couldn't get them, and they would die in the few seconds they touched the hot ground. And, they didn't know that if they would just submit it and let me help them, they would be saved, But instead they resisted, and they did what they shouldn't have done, because they didn't understand that I was trying to help them. From their perspective, they just saw me as, whatever as they saw me as, but their first instinct was to flee and to not, let me help them. And that resulted in their destruction. And I feel like that's the same way with humanity. We're like those tadpoles. We're doing the same thing they're doing. God is trying to reach his hand in the water and help us out so that we can have an eternal existence. But when we reject and turn to sin and run away, even if we don't think the sin we're doing is bad in the moment, that sin will lead to our destruction. Much like the tadpole swimming into the crevice and getting mud collapsed in on itself and suffocating, or flopping out of the spoon and, hitting the hot ground and dying. And we can see it every day in the hierarchy of animals and the hierarchy of people, with people trying to help animals, but animals resisting and getting themselves hurt because they don't understand. And humans, we don't have it all figured out like we think we do. We claim to have everything figured out. We claim to know everything. We don't know everything. Our brains are quite limited compared to what we could actually, how actual thought could work. And God is not restrained by flesh like we are. He's infinite. So he definitely can see a lot of things we don't see, and he definitely knows a lot of things we don't know. So it's best just to listen to him. Even if we don't understand it, just take time to be patient and learn. And as you go, you will eventually understand. From my experience anyway, that's usually how it goes. God bless y'all.